Explain the pit crew scenario, because I know you've started, well, you've been doing it for some time now, but now it's really taken off.
Yeah, so I've always been curious and inquisitive and worried. But come I tell you where Satish tune come from. So I meet this guy, William. You know William, Avianator. And he insists I need a name. So he went and he got a logo and you helped him. And he had printed this, he made T-shirts, he put it on there. And I was Satish tuned without even wanting to be anything. I'm just happy. Look here, I work in HR. And I tell people, if you want an HR person tuning your car, then you're at the right place.
Your car's been a guinea pig for your Haltech journey, yeah?
Yeah.
Haltech for you is it, eh?
Yeah. So Haltech, I could either buy it or get someone to tune it. So I bought it Chris Dix. I bought it from Chris Dix, and I had arranged with him that December we'd wire the car together. So the two of us wired it, and that's what started me on my Haltech journey. Obviously, learning to self-tune it, and then upgrading each time there was an update, and put in every Haltech gadget I could afford in there.
Yeah. So now you're a big advocate of Haltech, eh?
No, love it.
So if I come to you with like some other management system, will you still look at it, or would you?
I've got a full-time job, so I'm selective on the cars and the people that I help. But Haltech, I know well, and I know I've also been a shoestring budget racer all my life, and I know that people get ripped off. So it's really around helping people move forward and not getting taken advantage of. So Haltech I know really well. Fuel Tech I know fairly well. ECU Master I don't know. I don't pretend to want to know. Motec I can help myself. So if you've got one of those, yeah, I'll help you.
The transition from your standard management systems to the high-end versions that you're working on, the outlay is hectic, eh?
Yeah, at once it's hectic. But yeah, there's two ways to spend 20 grand. 20 grand once or 2 grand 10 times. And I promise you, if you put a proper ECU in your car, the money you're going to save on dyno tuning will pay for it in the long run.
And breakages.
And breakages, yeah. Firstly, they offer a lot more now. And then it's where does it fit? So like on Theo's car, the scramble boost, the traction control just makes the car very consistent. The first run off the trailer is probably one of the best runs. Yeah, and that's what we use it for. So nothing wrong. I mean, they run 6 seconds with carburetors in the States, and it works. But for us, we have the security of a new management, and we have the reliability and consistency.
You'd find that there's a lot more people using fuel techs, Haltechs.
They are, but not all of them are effective. Some people surprisingly will have a fuel tech and it's no better than an average local system because they're not using the facilities. They've been sold the smallest unit just to have a unit. And they don't even have the space for inputs or outputs to use any of the features.
There's only so much you can get with a standard, like a I'm going to say like a dictator or a SUSTEC.
Firstly, there's no login, so you don't know what the air fuel ratio is. You don't know what the boost is. You don't know if it's lean and lean is mean. You don't know what the boost is, so there's no safeties to stop you. So you go, eh?
You do a lot of road tuning. Yeah. What's the scariest car you've been typing to the laptop?
The scariest car ever is the Joburg Autotech Golf one. A Golf was never built to go 300 k's an hour. Never.
What is your steps with road tuning? You sit in a passenger seat, laptop open. You get sick?
No. You look at a laptop. You don't look around and you trust the driver. Yeah. So
that's a big ask, eh?
Yeah.
So that's why you're selective in who you sort of.
And look here. I think some cars we go to the dyno, and that's just to get going. And then we sort it out at the track. But yeah, it tends to be scary. In Zim, we did laps around the track with me sitting in the passenger seat. So 3/4 of the track is bends. And then you go to the straight, and then that's the only place you get to set it up. Yeah, so it's fun, it's exciting. there's an element of danger, but I mean, we're getting it done.
You've progressed to fuel tech. How's that experience been for you in the car?
Reliability for sure. I mean, touch wood, we haven't replaced an engine since we put the fuel tech management in. And it's healthy. It's been a steep learning curve. Satish, when we done it in 2019, we knew nothing.
So you guys progressed as you went along.
Oh, yeah.
So if he'll say to you, listen, we need more sensors there, we need something there, how does that influence the wallet?
There's one thing that Satish is very good at, spending my money. He's excellent at that.
Everyone's money.
And then he'll just come along and say, we need this, we need that, and then we'd buy
Funny
it. and
enough,
we put it in.
William also said that.
Yeah. But I think where we find ourselves at is, do we want to go faster and at what cost? And people are saying, I ran a 10-second in 2012. It's now 12 years later. I haven't gone faster. I enjoy my racing. It's not my life. It's part of my life. So I want to run a race car on the lowest budget possible. I'm lazy, so I mean I work in a corporate, so I don't have the time to spend under the car.
But
so yeah,
you say that, but you asked the question why you would want your car to go faster if there's not facilities built to help us go faster. Yeah. I mean, our drag team's been around since, let's call it 2000. You can walk into Aldo Scribante today and it'll look exactly like it looked in the year 2000. Nothing's changed.
No, that's it. Yeah, so I think as South Africans, we probably have great cars. We don't have tracks, and that's why a lot of cars are just parked off. They just parked off because when Tarleton suddenly reopened, amazingly, people's cars started appearing again. And if there's no big events, we're not going to see those cars again.
And things have got so expensive. If you wanna, you know how much money you've invested in your car. You want to put all that money to work, to use, and run the proper times. Yeah. You're not going to go to a Komati put again to try run times. And because events are so few, especially like at Tarleton, everyone wants to race at Tarleton. But again, you get lashed with a 3-4 grand entry fee. It's hectic.
Look, I'm still old school. You come from the days where we used to pay 250 rand to race. I think your MSA license back then was what, 500 to 800 rand for the year, you know. And people say, yeah, but you've got money to build a fancy race car and all this great gadgets and stuff. Why pay your 3,000-4,000 rand to race? It's not the principle.
Look, we're at that point now that myself and Satish, we still enjoy our heads-up racing. So we might not put the numbers on, but we're not scared to take on anything. I mean, the last event that we raced in Kimberley, we were racing 4-wheel drives, rear-wheel drives. We only got beat by one car, but we will take you on heads up, you know. So that's just how we are. We enjoy our racing. We enjoy a challenge. We're not time racers at all. We're not time stop racers at all. But if you want to line up against us, we never said no. And we'll no matter where it is, we'll give you a go for it. And if you win, you win. If you lose, that's it.
And I think our cars are probably some of the few cars that can do a 400 or 800 a kilo. And maybe even a Giancana. I remember winning fastest street car for years in a row and even being in the top 3 overall with our drag cars. So, yeah, I think, and people don't realize that we can go to most events or all events with our cars and do well and end up on the podium somewhere.
Being in the industry for so long and the progression that motorsport has gone to now, a lot of these PlayStation cars are rocking up and stealing your thunder.
It's actually the other way around sometimes.
Yeah. How do you feel about PlayStation cars?
No, I love them. They just, it's a different price bracket. And you need to be able to afford it. For me, I enjoy an old school car. And I think the compromise for us is taking that technology, and we've spoken about it many times, retrofitting that technology in our older cars, and we'll have a package. But I promise you, you put those drivers in our car, it's a different experience. So I know some of those new drivers, and I've offered them my car, and they won't do it because it's not as easy to drive.
Have you driven one of these quick PlayStation cars?
Yeah, I've driven DSG 10-second cars, and it's easy. It's plain. I mean,
Which do you prefer?
I prefer the old cars.
Do you like driving?
Yeah, I like driving. There is a place. Look here, the newer cars, I don't think they do as well on handicaps. They time slip races. You chase in a time. I don't think it's a race car. It's more for time trials.
What's your look on the fuel side of things in this country?
I love it. I love nitro. I love nitro. Don't deny a good thing. That's the best thing since sliced bread. I would put nitro anywhere I can.
Free horsepower.
But there's a lot of work that goes in with the nitro. The fuel system needs to be good. Good injectors, healthy engine. You must change the oil more often. But it works. We've had cars where we'd had a map for pump fuel, a map for ethanol, a map for methanol, and a map for nitro. And the nitro works. I love it. So yeah, let's not fight nitro. Let's embrace nitro. It has a place. Let's class it where it should be. But racing's also changed. When we rode nationals, I ran a national record. My car would be classed. They would take my fuel. I had to take out the cams so they can measure the engine size. All that's gone. So these records now are just based on I'm not sure what. In the olden days, it was the car's weight divided by the cc's, divided by, and there was a formula. If it was twin cam plus 40, if it was 16 valve plus 40, if it was turbocharged plus 30, and you worked it out, and you got a ratio, and that was your class. Nowadays, it's just drive wheels and engine size. So
I remember those days because you guys had to pay for the stripping of that engine, for them to strip it. That cost to make sure that those times were allocated or the record was allocated, you paid for it. Yeah. You know. So today I don't think they do that anymore, hey?
No, that's gone, long gone. I don't think there's a record class anymore in any of the racing that's happening where it gets policed like that.
Cape Town's buzzing, eh? Cape Town's a lot of things happening, eh?
Cape Town's cars are fast.
What cars have interested you guys lately?
The champ, definitely the champ, the Jack Russell. That car's very impressive. I love it. You know, Tola's Escort. You guys must remember also budget build and what he's achieved with that budget build of his. Awesome. Tola's car's flying. And then you've got the likes of the front wheel drives of Chody, Scott, even the Zurich.
It was nice to see that a Corsa again, hey?
Definitely.
Huh?
What impresses us is the exit speed.
Jacques, sorry, yeah.
The exit speed. I mean, 250. Scott is 266, I think. Jody's 240 plus. Zurich is 240 plus.
What has been your highest exit speed?
236.
And yours?
236. And I think we spoke about it on the way here, that Jacques' car is the fastest front wheel drive without a wheelie bar.
At the moment.
Wow.
Think about it. He's run a 9.6 without a bar. So the closest to that I recall is been, and I under correction, is a 9.9, which is the likes of Sian, Sabi, Jan. There's no other 9-second front wheel drive.
I think Zurich ran a 9. Zurich ran a 9 without a wheelie bar as well.
I think the day Zurich puts a turbo on, which I believe could be soon.
It'll be happening soon, yeah. No, he'll definitely, if he turbos that car, it'll be something else.
Yeah, and then it might bring back Kinke.
But thinking back, Nassan has done those times and speeds 10 years ago.
Back then. More than 10 years ago.
So I mean, he's run a 8.7 at
270.
270 in 20...
I think it's 2008, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and what was the conspiracy back then? He was already using nitro back then.
Yeah. Vainant's done a 9.0 at 264.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the top drivers back then knew what nitro was, and it's only just filtered into the industry to us little guys downstairs now.
I think we should get Maurice Lloyd to give us a call.
Look, I think we all know nitro works, and he who uses the most wins.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, because 50-50 you can buy it.
You've tuned that K-Series Honda.
Yeah, no, nitro is king. 1% per percent.
Do you prefer NA, like working on a strong K, or do you prefer turbo?
I love a K, but they break.
That would be a nice shirt.
No, the Ks break. They sound great. They go. They make horsepower. They break. It's not for a budget racer. I would love to put a K in my car. It just doesn't have the reliability. Yeah. So the aspirators are wow, but going through the gears and making all that noise and then still running a slow time, nah, that's not for me. If it's not Zurich fast, I'm not interested.
The VVL scene in Cape Town is bigger. Speaking about NA cars making noises and not really going, but some of them are going.
Yeah, the competition is awesome. It's just reviving it, which is quite nice.
What do you think of the Patrol?
That thing is wow. So Theo loves a Barra 4-wheel drive.
Territory ST.
ST. And I'm like, Theo, Patrol is the way to go. Those things in the Middle East, you get bullet blocks. That's the car to buy.
The negotiations or the talk of the town every time between myself and Satish, do we get the ST, don't we get the ST, are we buying a ST? Between that and spending more money on the Opel, it's just going to carry on until one day we do decide to do something.
What is the next big step with your Opel?
DSG. If we can just put if we can get a gearbox to hold the power that we're putting down, we won't have all the problems that we have now. We don't run wheelie bar because we strip 4th gear every time we put a wheelie bar on. Our gearbox have reached the point now where the power that we're making is too much for it.
What power are you guys making?
You see,
No,
as
well,
true
no.
Opel form, they won't say nothing.
When was your car last on a dyno?
2 years ago or a year ago.
When did you put a new turbo?
Now recently.
Has your car been tuned?
No. But the last it was 500 kilowatts on the wheels, so yeah. So look what was the Opel motors are very strong for is our torque. We make huge torque.
But even still, we're not using all of it.
No.
Anywhere we go.
By far.
No, I think Talton is the closest we've come to using all the boosts, but nowhere else.
Have you guys attended a street to strip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him racing his car, so I can pick on all the golf drivers.
Really, I'm not saying anything.
Trust me, Johan knows the street and strip heads up racing quite well. As well.
Johan?
Minar.
Johan,
With the
yeah.
Honda.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is he becoming
That was a
part
good
of it?
race. It's on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
That was a good
Rich
race.
Francis as
Rich
well.
Francis as well.
Did you race MOD Honda?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it went viral.
And they chased us away after that. Immediately after that race, they said, no, we can't race anymore.
Why is that?
Because I think I ran a 10.6 and he ran a 10.7 or
Yeah,
something.
street to strip is what, for under 11s?
Under 11s,
Yeah.
And Rich Francis?
Yeah, he challenged us and that was it. That was lovely. We enjoyed. That was one of our memorable races.
Do you agree with me that when you get challenged, you perform?
Oh yeah, it brings the best out of us. We will, if we get challenged and we accept the challenge, there's no ways myself and Satish is going unprepared. So you better know that if you're going to challenge us, your ducks must be in a row.
The one day we go to Midval and Theo misses second, changes slow. I line him up against Lance.
With a rear wheel drive.
No issues. Suddenly the second gear fixed itself.
It happens. Under pressure, it happens.
I think as a community we have fun with it. You know, I'm happy to call out Lance anytime and he knows it's not personal. Because he'll do a better time, I'll do a better time. The same with Johan. When we get on the track, he's the enemy. But we have such a good relationship other than that. You know, even he tunes his ECU master, we tune our Altex and everything else. But just great fun, lots of fun all over.
No, the same with Rich Francis also.
Yeah, same with Rich.
When we line up.
So, is there any
but after
events? Is there any events this year that you guys are taking your cars out to? Anything special?
So I would love us to go to Umkuzi because we've both done work, and I think I still hold a front wheel drive record there.
5 cylinders producing amazing times at Mkuzi.
Everywhere, not Umkuzi, everywhere.
Because if you look at the Quickson land, the Mkuzi is like appearing everywhere now, man.
Yeah, the traction is on point, eh? The Umkuzi is an awesome track. great preparation, and you get there on a Friday, you can practice. You race the whole of Saturday, you can race Saturday night. Sunday you race. So the track is really good.
The track gives you confidence. It's one of the longest tracks we have in South Africa. It's even longer than Dalton. So the guys have a lot of confidence in going down the track. Enough stopping distance, very wide.
And you have Cass who has years of preparing the street. You know, so he knows how to prepare the street. So suddenly you've got a track where you can put the rubber down.
Front wheel turbo cars dying out.
No, it's picking up.
Yeah.
Since this Cape Town car has come out, the Corsa, I think it's shaken up a bit of a. So I think come next year, or even come the end of this year, when Cape Town has that normal event of theirs, you're going to see a lot of strong front wheel drive turbo cars coming on.
But back to Umkhuze, now that I think about it, you know, Desi is it's a short track. You need a chute to stop, and that's why I would never race there. The same with PE, same with Cape Town. So Umkhuze is the only track where you're close to sea level, you've got enough runoff, and you got the 2 days to prepare.
Yeah.
So if you get there the Friday, you practice, you can race the Saturday
and the whole of the
and
Sunday.
then Sunday. So there is no other event where you get 3 days or 2 days of racing.
It's nice to see Saldana back. I see they've got an event advertised.
Yeah, but them also after the 800, the stopping distance is very scary.
Oh.
Very scary. At Saldana as well. You know, just that little bit of confidence where you can keep your foot flat past the 800.
I rode there with Joburg Autotech BM, and I literally ended where the road ended, like with the bumper in the felt.
Do you miss the old 1K scene that that Naz used to have at ODI? You know, there was a jump, a significant jump with the 1K challenges. Like a lot of top end cars were being built. Now it's somehow diminished. Am I right? I mean, there's not many.
Yeah, but I think it's a combination of. I think as an economy we were in a better space. The GTRs were being modified and they needed a place. Nazi had great marketing, and people just bought into the concept because there's cars from ODI that you don't see anymore. And if you had to open a ODI type event here locally, you'd see a lot of them come out. So what has happened to Ernest's Skyline? It's someone bought it. I think it's changed hands twice or 3 times. But they bought that car with a purpose, and it's not to go down the R24 at 120.
Or a family holiday.
Or family holiday.
Yeah. So we've been going to 4x4 drags. Why don't you guys build a 4x4 and come join us?
Walking into that event reminded me so much of what we used to do with our street cars. You didn't change tires, you didn't change fuels, you just rocked up there with under the hood and you raced it. Put the tire pressures down a little bit. They don't even do that there, you know, and they still put their family in the back and they go down.
But having said that, if you were at the last street and strip, I think there were 4 of those 4-wheel drives there.
That's racing there as well.
So I think while it's nice to go there for fun, they would like the ticket from a track.
But give it a couple of months. I mean, you already got a Land Cruiser with the 2J in. You've got a Jeep with the 2J in. I would say by next year, this time, you're going to have a lot of turbocharged fast.
It's going to
really
bite.
fast. It's going to bite. And then it's also going to become very competitive.
Where do you see new technology or things improving next year with regards to setups and cars?
So we have the new fuel tech out. I don't know who's going to buy it. It's 80 grand.
Haltech IC10 dash.
There's the new Haltech. I fitted the new Haltech to my car. The torque management is brilliant, but I think there's some bugs in the system that they're trying to fix. If we can get it to work, it will help us use the power we make. But we still need a track where you could put all the power down. So I think the managers just helps us manage the power better, and the new systems allow us to do that better. So we shouldn't be chasing horsepower, which we're not doing anymore. It's around using what we have.
Does make turbo play a big role like it used to 4 or 5 years ago?
The turbo technology is, I think in the last week I looked at a 72 mil turbo, a oldish one, and the center root, I think it was like 12 mil. So the middle of the turbo, where the nut goes on, is 12 mil. So you got a 72 mil turbo, which would have 60 mil of wheel. The new stuff is like 8 mil, which means you scored 4 mils of blade on the same size of turbo. And then you've got new technology where the blade comes to the center and you're making 1200 horsepower with a 66 mil turbo. So the turbo technology is miles ahead. So you can keep all things the same and change your turbo and you're going to go faster.
What about engines?
You can make any engine go fast.
go.
You can make it. I mean, look at the C18 that's running in that bakkie from Pretoria.
Never mind that. Go back to the 1400 that was built in the...
Yes.
I think that thing came out of Van Riebeck's boat, the A14, and they're making power and running times that we haven't seen.
How's Williams bakkie off launch? You were enjoying it at one stage.
No, that bakkie it's reliable. It does the times. It has a stock gearbox. It has a 4-button clutch. You know, it's such a nice conversion. It doesn't cost. The running cost is fairly low. It's just that he's meticulous in his maintenance. He goes through everything twice. New oil, make sure compression test, everything is fine. But the bakkie literally just stands and then we go and race.
Have you gone for a ride in it?
Yeah, that bakkie still has a radio and speakers. And I've driven a lot in it.
How's the launch?
No, that thing, wheels off the ground. The carpet, and it has like a triple layer carpet, rolls back. Then you know you're doing a good time.
Jeez.
I think I'm fortunate that I get to spend time in a lot of fast cars now. I think if I look at the last month, I've had 3 Skylines, a couple of 2Js that I drive a lot.
Is there a specific setup that you look forward to when it comes to tuning?
One way everything works. Generally, you find that people come to you and they have problems. I like the builds where there's no issues, nothing to fix. Just tune and
What has
drive.
been your recent big car?
The last one was Richard Jordan's bakkie.
Okay. So he's moved to Heltec?
Fuel Tech. I used to be a Toyota man before Mo converted me. Damn you, Mo. Because those twin cams are just next level. That thing made over 1,000 horse. And then we've seen him with a set of old tires. There was an issue with the diff. Going down the track sideways in fourth gear, still running a 5.0. Yeah. No, that... So I think if Talton opens, he puts his new tires, and we get a little more time on the setup just to clean it up, you'll see a good challenge for Leon. Hey?
I see Leon's put his van up for sale.
Yeah.
Again, where do you race the bakkie?
Yeah. We're all going to go that route one of these days, eh?
I kept asking you, and even though your Honda's taking so much time and you have all these wonderful parts, like when you're done, you've only got Tolton. Think about that.
No, I'm too old for that shit.
No, but where do you want to race? So our cars aren't the fastest around. We're not a Jody or a Scott, but we have fun. We want to race, so we can go to a lot of events. We can be competitive. But
you're down tuning your car to enjoy them.
100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Reliability and having fun. We don't have tuning shops, so we don't need to be the fastest.
I think what was fun back then is we were all taking our cars to the max.
Yeah.
Because those facilities back then catered for the cars back then.
Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah. So we were all just balls to the wall back then with what we had. Because they weren't as super fast as what they are now.
Yeah, back then
we were
300 kilowatts. Now it's like 500 kilowatts in yoga. But the recent builds, Scott's, I think he's done new shit to his bakkie. Scott looks awesome.
It's going to be awesome when it comes out, eh?
Looks incredible, eh? And then Jody van Square.
If you want to wind him up, you just tell him that a 26-inch tire. And then you... and that's fun. But give him his due. The car is next level. And the Cape Town boys are putting in the effort and they've seen the results. You know, and you've seen that with more than one car. And that's what it is. Put in the effort. And I'll be honest, up here, we haven't seen that dedication. You know, Mo has the potential to match them. And yeah, he's just...
Well, Mo's just, he can. I mean, I see Baby Blue there. I'm sure he's itching, but
No, most speed, he had a lot of speed, and then he slowed down. So there was a point when the engine was in the car or next to the car. I'm not sure what happened to the engine. But he has a lot of other projects that he's busy with.
yeah.
But and he's finished famous 4-wheel drive
Yes.
car, and I think he's focusing there. But for me, I want to see Baby Blue back, and his excuse is there's nowhere to race. So until we have a Tarleton where we can go as fast as we want.
Which was my next question regarding. But now that you've said that, I mean, do you see Quinton's record falling any time?
I think
soon?
the jump is too big. Scott's got to go 20 k's faster, 30 k's faster.
Look, Lance
Lance has
is
entered the 9s now.
Yeah, exactly.
We're talking about low 8s.
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
big jump.
all right.
It's a
I see
big
what
jump.
you're saying.
So
All right.
I think Zurich's got the potential.
But Lance is not running nitromethane.
No, I love nitro. I don't care. Put nitro. I'll help you.
Have you tried nitro in your car?
No, not yet.
Have you tuned the car with nitro?
Yeah.
And?
No, every percent nitro is percent power. If I had to build a car now, you know what I built? Mark 1 R36 engine. No, and so I called Theo up. I said, Theo, I got an idea. Let's get a R36 engine. We put it in there. We'll put a management. We'll spray nitro in a Mark 1 that weighs like 600 kilos. I'm sure we're going to go a low 11, maybe even 10s.
Jeez, yeah.
And you know what? You drop that little seed to the right person because he likes those funny little builds.
And more than that is that big engines in the front. So we got the weight distribution sorted. So it's just someone needs to go and do it.
What does a motor like that cost?
30 grand. What management? So you put power and the thing runs.
What management does it have on it?
Stock.
So you wouldn't even need to buy a management system
No,
and
just
spend
for the
that kind of
nitro.
money.
So I would run pump fuel to keep the engine running with the standard FSI timing and stuff.
Listen, I think we've all got these virtual garages where there's unlimited amounts of money floating about in them, you know.
Yeah, but that's not unlimited. That's a 100,000 rand car. Yeah. Where we could, I think the 6-cylinder normally aspirated record is 11.0. So you could be the fastest 6-cylinder aspirated in the country.
So whoever is watching this podcast now, and we don't know who he will be. Yeah. If this no-name person suddenly builds a car like this, we know that you're watching. Okay.
Yeah, and it must have Satish tune sticker on.
It has to because it's Satish's idea.
Yeah. So R36 50% nitro.
I want to talk about another event that we all went to, which is coming up soon. That's the Maryland World Finals.
Yeah.
Give us some of your fondest memories, because I know you guys traveled there.
Without a doubt, the highlight of my life. It opened up our eyes to how backward we really are in South Africa, or we were. A lot of things have changed since then. I mean, we didn't know the extent that our managements were so backward. The fuel managers that the guys were using up in Maryland, we saw what it could do and the results. It was just phenomenal. But yeah, myself and Tola, we flew to Vegas with Satish. There was a group of us that went there first. Firstly, to go see the NHRA. We experienced that live. And we experienced the flybys of your Air Force right next to it, F-16s and all that. It was awesome. And to feel a proper 10,000 horsepower dragster. We sat right up on the top in the VIP stands, but it took your breath away. It was just, you can't, if you keep your head in one place, that thing would flash past. You wouldn't know what color it was, you just know there's a car that fell past. That's how fast those cars really were. And it was just awesome. It was an awesome experience. We met John Force, and the line for John Force and his 2 daughters were signing was so long. I said to Tola, no man, I'm going to go to the back. I've got pictures to prove it as well. So I'm standing at the back, and I say to Tola, so can you take the photo now? And he turned around and he says, what accent is that?
Who's this now?
John Force.
Okay. Was he just passing by?
Yeah, no, I was standing behind him, about a meter or 2 behind him, and I said to Tola, can you take the photo now? Hurry up. And then Tola took the photo, and I'm in the photo. And then he turns around and he says, what accent is that? So I said, I'm from South Africa. Really? And he pushed to the side and he called me there and he introduced me to his daughters and he signed off personal photographs. What a very friendly guy.
So did he want you to marry his daughters?
No. I wasn't fast enough. Eh? No. And then, of course, when we went to Maryland itself, guys, we had the VIP, you know what? We all, Satish is dressed in the supporters uniform that we had, and we were a group of South Africans that once we cross the border, we unite like it's nobody's business. Eh? And we had this little corner up in the VIP stand that we called Little South Africa. And you'd get the guys, I can remember Alton coming up the steps, and he never saw us. And he was looking, it was quite full, and he was looking where he was going to sit. And all we said to him, hello, Boknai. He just laughed, and he knew exactly where he was going to sit. It was so awesome.
But I think we used that word the whole weekend.
The whole weekend.
And eventually, we had a couple of Americans next to us that asked us what that was, and then they were using it at the end of the day too.
Because we told him it's goat fucker, and then he says, I'm a goat fucker." But it was awesome, guys. It was just. I
don't think you'd experience that in a hurry again with that group of people.
No.
That's what made it so special.
And you must remember, we were from all over South Africa. There was Cape Townians, Durbanites, and
I think we were 80 in total.
Yeah, possible.
80 of us in the VIP stand all, and we had cheerleaders, some loudmouths. So and as people and teams evolved, I think Neresh from Premchem was the loudmouth there.
Yes.
And
he was fun.
Yeah, just cheering. And I think that was the event where the Speed Factory Honda outrode Brown Sugar Mustang and ran that 220 plus mile record, which I think they're trying to beat now.
Was there any particular cars or personalities that you were eyeing out that you wanted to meet, or were you just in your own element, just trying to get as much information as you can from?
For the record, I've never seen so many Hondas break in my life. I think it was about 200 Hondas, of which 199.5 of them broke.
And there was like a Woolies equivalent of a Honda store there, where you could buy a whole Honda walking through the parking lot. And when the event was over, there was just little Honda engines everywhere, broken. I think what stood out there, MacTech running 400 on the 400, those little Portuguese. And remember, day one, they had 5 engines. And Puerto Ricans. And they partied at night. And it was like such a vibe. So first day, 5 spare engines. Second day, 3 spare engines. Third day, they like piecing together pieces to get the car running. And then obviously our own, not the Marius full booster, American one. He even had an American accent. I watched that video from time to time on TikTok to hear that American accent. And I think it was, it opened the eyes for South Africans. I think there's a lot of people that would like to go and race on that stage. And I think we did well. I think Quentin would have put up a good number if his steering wheel hasn't come loose.
Tupi ran a 9 number.
Yeah, Tupi became the fastest twin cam in the world.
And Ian was just having problems for his first time on that kind of track.
And Butler also ran well.
Yeah,
Butler
Butler fastest BM in the world, fastest BM in the world. Fastest twin cam in the world, and Quentin, if his steering wheel didn't come
Listen,
loose.
that was awesome to experience it with those people that we did. SA's first drag cars on international soil. That was awesome. I mean, do you think that it would ever done in the past? I can't.
No.
Never.
So to get your South African green blazer for motorsport, you need to do an international event. And the karting guys do it. But for drag racing, it hasn't been done. I think the closest has probably been Kevin Wilkins.
Did they not recognize that team, MSA?
No,
Really?
because you needed you needed to win to get the blazer. You needed to win 2 national events, and then do an international event. And I think it needs to be in a 3-year cycle. And I think Kevin Wilkins is the only person I know that's done it lately.
So I went there just to meet a few Honda personalities.
Like you always do.
And one of them was Jamie Marsh. So Jamie Marsh is a big Honda tuner, renowned. And I follow him. I think he's awesome. If I had Dosh, I think I'd like him to remote tune my car if I was running a fancy system. I see Ricky Gatson. Do you remember Ricky Gatson? Yeah. So Ricky Gatson's walking there. I'm like, oh, it's Ricky Gatson. I need to go say hello to Ricky Gatson. So I go down and I say, hey, Ricky. We met in South Africa many years ago, and are you racing this weekend? And he goes, no, I just got a few cars that I'm just helping tune and everything. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So you're from South Africa? I says, yeah, I'm from. I also put the lingo, yeah, I'm from South Africa. Yeah. Okay, well, you enjoying yourselves? Yeah, awesome, okay. Well, thank you, Ricky. And he goes, yeah, awesome. And I'm like, okay, what a cool sort of guy. Like, maybe he didn't understand my accent. So I go back to stand. Next thing I hear the commentator, Jamie Marsh, come to the control tower. It's Juice Bob. I was talking to Jamie Marsh.
And you call him Ricky Gatson.
But they looked so similar.
Do they?
They look similar.
If you put them together, they look the spitting image.
And yeah, you're thinking this oak doesn't recognize you and you met in South Africa.
Now, every time I see him on my IG feed, I like, let me scroll.
Ricky Gatson.
Ricky Gatson, scroll.